Steve and I joking about the darlings of the betting world, the Miami Hurricanes, as Steve outlined for us last week. Bethune-Cookman throw that one out. It wasn't on all the sports books in Vegas, and Miami otherwise a perfect 0-6 now after a double-digit favorite losing by 24 against Duke. Steve, this is just incredible. Of course, we saw earlier in the season against Middle Tennessee State, 22 or 24-point favorite. They lose that by 2 touchdowns. Miami is just breaking all sorts of wagering records. They are a 2-point favorite again on the road this week.
Yeah, put it in perspective. You're like, when are they going to flip a switch and start covering? They covered that game, like you said, against Bethune as a 49.5-point favorite, if you could find a line on that game. But they were 0-5 against all the other teams last week. And we talked about that heading into the Duke game. And they had more turnovers last week against Duke. Well, they had exactly as many turnovers last week against Duke, 8, as they'd had combined in their first 6 games. So it's not like they're heading in the right direction now. They're coming off by far their worst game of the season now. Now they're 0-6 against the spread, 2-4 straight up against Division 1A FBS opponents this season. And the line is still too high, and they're favored. Now they're favored in this game. My math simulation predicts Virginia to win by about a point. So I actually I think the wrong team is favored in this game. There is some line value with Virginia. So the question becomes, can we trust the Cavaliers in this spot? They've had huge turnover problems this year. In fact, Mark, they've had 2 turnovers or more offensively in every one of their 7 games this year. They've had 3 turnovers or more in 4 of those 7, including 4 turnovers last week. So you've got 2 teams coming in here that had their biggest turnover games of the season last week. I think the home team is less likely to make the mistakes this week, so I like Virginia for that reason as well. Offensively, a concern. They've scored 20 or less in every game against FBS opponents this year, the last 6 weeks. Richmond was the only game they scored more. By the way, Richmond is a very good FCS team. I follow the Colonial very close here with my William and Mary tribe, and 34-17 win against Richmond, actually, in hindsight, is going to look pretty good this year. Virginia has not done much since, though. They're just 2-4 ATS their other games. 2 ugly teams here. I'd rather have the home dog in Virginia, who I think is flying a little bit under the radar, and I want nothing to do with Miami right now.
The Virginia passing offense is a head-scratcher. They brought back one of the best passers in the country, Brendan Armstrong. He threw for 4,500 yards, led the nation in yards per game, threw 31 touchdowns last year. He's thrown 5 this year. They're not scoring against anyone. He had all 3 of his top receivers come back. New offensive coordinator, new head coach, maybe a few linemen missing. Wow, Virginia's offense has just tanked. Join us on Discord, folks. You get the link to the Discord on patreon.com. Search Mark Rogers TV. Sign up right there. You can talk college football 24/7, 365. Get my picks. I select 20 or 25 games a week. Steve's under the radar selection of the week. He's 7-1. So get on over there. And wagertalk.com is a destination as well with Steve's total selections, college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NBA. Steve, we appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mark.